So I'll start with Keith. You know, Keith, who directed Chuggers, the last film, which was amazing, and it was written by Matt Schill, and also you acted in Old Habits. So would you like to just give your thoughts about seeing the film for the first time?
I just think it's very strange, like Old Habits. I was finishing off the edit last night on my little computer monitor on Premiere, and it's not that big, and suddenly come here tonight and it looks brilliant on a big huge screen. So just, you know, it's great to see it all and see them all run together. I think all the films have really come together, and it's all looking brilliant.
Well, from your perspective, wait, one more question. From your perspective, could you just say, like, you know, in your involvement, you came in to MSI and then you were offered the opportunity not just to act, but also to direct. Is this your first film?
Sure. I got involved with MSI through Matt. And Matt's a very talented writer, and he wrote quite a few of the ones we've seen tonight. And because I'm a photographer and filmmaker, and what's great about it is we've been involved in writers groups before, but writers groups can go in circles and not really produce any sort of end result. So it was great to, you know, Chase and Matt and everybody else getting together and say, right, we want to get together, we want to give ourselves a target, we want to book some venues, we want to get a bunch of films together, and it's to our sort of great credit that in a very short space of time we've got all the films that you've seen tonight.
Yeah. Well, in handing that over to Matt, you've heard from Matt already. Huh? Yeah. You've heard from Matt already tonight, but now as a writer, because you've written 2 of the pieces, and as a director you had directed Old Habits. So can you tell from your perspective, because as you already introduced that it came from your brain, so how is it to see it all come together fruition?
It's all my fault. I take the blame for everything. It was great because...
sorry, that's me.
Is that you? It was great because it's the first time I've seen all of them in a row, and it's also great to see what you've done on the big screen. As Keith was saying, I've seen it on a small monitor type thing. So it's great to see the variety of styles and stories, and that's really what the MSI is about, because we're script focused. Is there's a bit of comedy there, a bit of darkness, and I think it's only a bit of darkness, and but it's great because I really enjoyed it, and the idea of making filmmakers, and I hope some of you out there are filmmakers as well, because you're the guys we want to get chatting to, is actually getting it made, as Keith said. You know, writing is great fun and making films is great fun, but at the end of the day, you want to see it on a screen, because all of us are all hoping to get picked up by Hollywood and get paid millions. That's why we're all doing it. But also just to get to see with an audience, with people who we don't know, and that's why it's great to come to Manchester and see your reactions. And I did hear a few laughs at the right place, which is good.
Oh no, thanks, Matt. So Letitia, you know, launching us off tonight, one of our youngest members of MSI. As you can see, some have gray hairs and some don't. And so how was it for you to actually see your film up on a big screen and being involved in the process of MSI?
Well, it was actually brilliant. I actually come from London and then went to university in Liverpool, and now I'm here in Manchester. So I feel like it was literally the same as coming from London. It's been such a journey. I mean, that documentary was just part of a university assignment, but it just turned out that it opened up to this, and it opened up to also producing and helping out with other films within the MSI. I think it helped me realise you have to get involved with your local community no matter where you are to do what you want to do, and there's no barrier really. You can just take a camera and do whatever you want to, literally, because I had no idea what I was doing. I really didn't, and thankfully I had a really good friend I knew before, Ryan Ballon, who edited it and filmed it, and he was brilliant. Everyone else, even the MSI, letting me interview them as well. Thanks, because they were part of it. But to see it on screen was really humbling experience, and I hope to take it further. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you. Well, I'll come to Merv last, because you know he does his playing on along. So if you hand that over to Adam. Adam, as one of our actors, you know, you were in Boom, you were in Afterwards, as well as you were in Chuggers, and you're in one of the films that are still being finished, or you're about to enter that, Saving a Life. So can you just tell us, like, your introduction into MSI, and how does it feel to see yourself on the screen?
Well, horrible, because I hate watching myself, but I enjoyed the films that I wasn't in.
That's nice. All right, well,
but they're all lovely people.
Yeah. All right, but okay. Besides that, though, I mean, how did it feel, the process? Because I know we went through several different conversations. Because you know, as a job and actor and everything, you know, you were kind of like, do I have to audition, and you know, and how do I get involved and step in? So how did that feel for you? You know, to kind of come and be involved in 4 films.
Great. There wasn't much competition. I was the only male under 40.
Hey, what does that mean? Thanks, Adam. You can tell this is not rehearsed. Okay, so Merv, my man Merv. All right, so Merv, I mean, you know, you already know how talented you are and everything else like that, but
Really?
let's look at him and tell. As an actor, funny. I mean, Rollfield, what a treat. And you're also in a new film that is being edited right now, Female of the Species. But if you could tell us about, you know, directing Afterwards, and you're about to direct your next film, Close Shop.
Well, it's funny actually, because during the sessions when we have the reading out of the scripts and everyone kind of rips them apart and says, oh, I love this, and you thought about that, and maybe a few spaceships here and there or whatever. To be honest with you, that night, things were being read out that weren't just speaking, weren't leaping out at me, and then all of a sudden this script came along, looking at the subject of the after effects of child sexual abuse, and that really hit home with me because of my background in theatre, and also my background is also, I'm an ex-full-time youth worker and an ex-social worker as well, and it felt very realistic. I mean, I've worked in children's homes, and I've met countless, sadly, I don't use the word victims, but I'm going to use it right now, countless victims of that horrible, the worst possible sort of acts that you could possibly think of. So it felt very real, and my biggest concern was that, not that nobody else could do it, but nobody else really knows that world. You know, I hope not anyway. So, and I could bring everything that I brought to it from my professional experience, but also from my theatrical experience, because I actually felt it was also a very actor-driven piece as well. So when we, you know, got together, I mean, I met with Adam, we sat and chatted for about, 2 hours? Just for 2 hours, and I don't believe in the audition process. I actually, my approach is to interview actors first and foremost, because I know there's got to be some sort of connection somewhere that I can work with, okay, regardless of the part or whatever. And I know Adam actually took a little bit of convincing, because he wasn't quite too sure, and he thought, I don't know, I'm not too sure. But I assured him that, believe me, you know, it's only make-believe, it's only make-believe. But to do it with the support of Chase and everybody from MSI was known for work. It's kind of like having a really good guy in your corner. So seeing it tonight with an audience, I mean, I'm not watching the film at all, I'm watching everybody, I'm watching like the backs and necks and whatnot, you know, are they paying attention? You know, well, I hope they're not laughing, but, you know, but at least in my one anyway. And that's a really interesting thing for me to do. But yeah, and it's also just given me such an opportunity just to do it. I mean, I remember reading years ago, Terry Gilliam said that the best way to learn to make a movie is to make one. You know, you can study, you can learn this, that and the other, but the best way is to just pick up a camera, get a story, and go out and do it. You know, he learned, you know, with Monty Python and the Holy Grail, is that the easy way or the hard way? I'm not quite sure. But either way, you know, just to do it, and it's given me such confidence to do it again, which I am going to do it again, and I'm actually taking the reins this time. I'm going to act in the one I'm directing as well, so let the head swell, you know, just it's me and Clint.
It's already swelled.
But on a serious level though, it's just the opportunity, and like Tish, I'm not even from the northwest, not from the south, just like Tish. So it's really, really good for me to see it with an audience that's cold. I mean, when I was doing my theatre days, back in my comedy days, I used to love performing at places that were further. I used to gauge it on how far I lived from it, and if I lived further away, if it was further away, then all the better. So it's nice. I mean, you may hate it, I don't know, but at least at least it's out there.
Well, let's find out. I know this is the hard part where we always like throw it out to the audience and everything. So, anybody have any questions? I know there was like a succession of 12 films all at once. You might not remember any one in particular, but hopefully with us talking about the actual process of how we made the films, maybe somebody has a question around that. Anyone? We should have left some people in the audience so they could raise their hands, right?
My mother was busy.
Oh yeah, all right. Good stuff. Right, okay. That's okay. I mean, it's all good.
Do we actually have any filmmakers in the audience tonight? Yeah. Okay. Can I just ask then?
Did you do Chuggers?
I didn't do Chuggers. I keep the Chuggers.
Was it sort of reworking of that film with the Irish actor Colin Farrell?
Phone booth, yeah. But that's
Seemed to be right. I thought it was, in some ways it was better than that because it was just a few minutes.
Yeah.
So Matt wrote it, I directed.
Yeah.
Well, it's Chuggers is actually part of a longer story, but I was saying earlier on, we're going with this.
It wasn't doing the phone booth, but it seemed a bit similar to what.
Well, it's a similar kind of idea.
People said it's actually a good concept. You could actually
It
do
was.
it
I
for
thought
real.
it was for a short film. I thought it was very good actually.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was trying to think of is just trying to do a twist on the robbery idea, and the idea is can you rob someone without actually getting caught? And of course the idea with that is if the guy grabbed the girl and said, right, I've got you, well she's not actually threatened him, so he willingly hands over his wallet to this girl who there's no evidence to prove she would do it, and I thought that would be a nice little twist. So I wrote a longer piece which is about the couple and what happens, but for the 0151 Festival I wanted to look at sort of like a 2.5 minute segment of it, and this is the instigating, the plot point, the twist on it. So I focused on that for the story, and Keith and I worked on the script, and that's what you saw. So I think it's a nice sort of twist because it could go many different ways, and hopefully when you're watching it, you weren't too sure how it was going to turn out.
Well,
also, the story they
had the
the
gun
wrong
in the
guy.
end, didn't he? The victim of the other.
Yeah, well, yeah. The idea is they did get away with it, but then they picked the wrong guy, the guy with the gun.
Yeah. Very good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, very good.
Alright, anyone?
The first film, the documentary that you were asking, you were discussing about the writing process, and there was a lot of talk of living in the world, and as opposed to sitting at a desk writing, to be a full rounded writer you need to get out there and experience life, but there was no mention of actual reading. Like I just wondered how important that is and whether that comes above being in the world, looking at different people. Is reading more important?
Like actually reading in order to expand your knowledge, like books.
Novels.
That's a really interesting point. I mean, that was only a 5-minute version of the whole film, but we actually didn't really talk about reading in terms of it. I personally think that reading is really important in terms of, because I did script writing, but when I was younger I read absolutely everything. But we didn't actually talk about it, but in terms of discussing it with my director, we did say it was something that we took out only because we wanted to concentrate on what the scriptwriter was feeling, what he was thinking, the world he explored, and then also the background of the scriptwriter. For example, when we interviewed Chase, he spoke about when he used to write at school and things like that, but it was something that we explored but we took out. And I also wanted to talk about explore the experience of the scriptwriter within making a film and being part of a film experience and having to interact with directors and producers, because I found even with this experience it is hard to let go, I think, of the script that you really enjoy or you really want to stay true to, and to push it away, but that was more what I wanted to talk about and explore within television or film, or just making a film with your friends, really. great question.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Probably have time for one more because there's still like I think some more films that have to be displayed or whatever. But anybody else have any other questions? You're just really just curious about that challenge, aren't you? All right, Christina. All right, Christina. All right. Yeah.
Hey, just a quick question. Do you have like a YouTube channel where you upload all your films?
Yeah, we do, but it's private for because as we're treating the festival tour like a festival tour. So if people can see it at home on YouTube, they won't come out here like you guys did tonight.
Yeah.
So we do have the films all on the YouTube channel. So what will happen is that by end of October, excuse me, the films will go live. They'll go back into the purview of the writer and directors who want to shop it around any particular way they want to shop it around. But for now, we're asking for people to keep the films within the strands. So this is the first leg of the tour, but we actually are going to be in Liverpool, in the Wirral, in Stoke. New Brighton, yeah, and the Wirral Film. Yeah, we're going to culminate at the International Wirral Film Festival. So we have these venues already booked, but what's also good about it is that I just wanted to speak about the process a bit more, about the fact that 2 months, I mean, Hollywood doesn't even make one film in 2 months. And I know these are only little short films, but if you think about Virgin Shorts, making 20 films, you know, it needs the collaborative process of people like you see up here. You know, I mean, what we've been doing is actually trying to encourage people not to just work on their own stuff, but to work on other people's stuff. So that's why we've all been a part, you know, of each other's festival. That doesn't mean there's just 5 of us. There's actually a good, like, amount of us. It's just that not all could come out tonight. Then also, too, is that, like what Merv mentioned about the closed shop, we still have, like, about 4 films still in the cooker, you know, that are being edited and as well as still being shot. So,
yet to be shot.
Still being shot, yeah. So we in essence, we will have like up to 20 films that we would have made in 3 months. So what I would like to do then is like get to the challenge that we had mentioned and teased about. And it's not a negative challenge, actually, hopefully it's an inspiring one. You know, because we've said that MSI is about the writing, and this was about 0151 meets 0161, or vice versa, is that we wanted people to be encouraged by what we're doing as far as working together in collaboration. And so with that in mind, we're looking for 6 scripts from the Manchester region to be sent to us to film 5 minutes, a 5-minute piece. We're also looking for people to be in contact with this particular strand, the 0151 meets 0161. There will be, because we do a lot with social media, there will be a strand that will be made. You know, hopefully John can help us orchestrate that. And for you to send us 6 scripts. So what we're trying to say is, look, you know, we're continuing the 0151. And we're actually, you know, so we're looking for scripts and we're looking for that collaboration. Because we're inviting Manchester to one of our final festivals in Liverpool. So that's at a place called the Camp and Furnace in the Baltic Triangle. So that's on October 18th. You know, it's hopefully be a big event, but by then we would have trimmed some of the films down. So out of the 20, we expect to probably have like about, you know, 5 or 6 of the best. And then we hope to also introduce some of the Mancunian films as well. So we want you to be excited. That's why we're filming this. And utilizing our social media, it will be out there. So the challenge is not made to just the people in this room, but it'll be also made to filmmakers in the northern region. You know, be involved as an actor, as a writer, as a producer. You know, when you see our show, what you saw there was like the first kind of like webisode of the Creative Roundtable. We plan on filming several of those. So that's going to be like a YouTube series as well. So it would be really good to get a Manchester Roundtable together. You know, so it's up to you. That's all we can say. It's up to you to be involved and to recognize that MSI is the future.